everyone. Welcome to the Saturday Visitor Awards, and I trust that you can hear me now. The Saturday Visitor Awards are a new honor presented by Poe Baltimore to honor a new generation of artists and writers inspired by Poe. I am very excited to introduce to you our nominees this evening. Very excited to welcome our keynote speaker, Eric Stange, to our presentation this evening. And we wanted to explain a little bit about how the event will work. So we have a video here that introduces the Edgar Allan Poe Saturday Visitor Awards, tells you a little bit about what the awards are and how to enter.
Thank you very much for having me here. It's an honor to be here for the Saturday Visitor Awards. My name is Eric Stange, and I'm the director of a film called Edgar Allan Poe, Buried Alive, which was a 90-minute biography of Poe that was on American Masters on PBS a couple of years ago on Halloween, and is rebroadcast quite often and used in schools and all sorts of other places. So it's wonderful to be celebrating these artists with you. And earlier today, I took a bike ride to think about what I was going to say tonight. And I happened to ride past a large public art installation near my home. And among the pieces was, guess what? A huge raven, a giant 6-foot-tall raven sculpted out of rebar and sheet metal that was obviously inspired by Poe. And I was reminded for the umpteenth time that Edgar Allan Poe was always here, always with us, ubiquitous in the imaginations of all kinds of artists everywhere. That's unusual and it's wonderful. But of course, it presents a bunch of challenges too for any artist. How do you do justice to such a powerful artistic imagination? And how do you bring something new to the table? What can be said about Poe that's never been said before? I faced that problem when I started my film a few years ago. And for a long time, I wrestled with all the challenges, the usual ones that go with starting a new film. What will it look like? What will it feel like? What will I say? All compounded by the fact that it was about Edgar Allan Poe. And at one point, we were going to film everything in old subway stations. So we'd have the stained tiles and looming dark orifices at either end. And then we spent a couple of weeks in a steampunk phase where we were looking for a sewage plant or power station where we could film among century-old pipes and boilers. And it was a struggle to find what the film needed. And finally, I realized that where I could get some guidance is in the directives of Poe himself about what artists should do and what in fact art is. Poe said in one of his many quotes about art, were I called on to define very briefly the term art, I should call it the reproduction of what the senses perceive in nature through the veil of the mist. He also believed that it was the duty of the artist to consciously and deliberately choose the emotional tone, or the impression, as he called it, for any work of art, and to establish that tone from the very first line of a story or poem and maintain it uniformly throughout. And the same would apply, of course, to the first few measures of a piece of music, or the first visual impression of a piece of art, or the first moments when a curtain rises on a performance. And in learning about the way Poe thought about art, I came to realize that his unique appeal from generation to generation that's been going on now for over 170 years is because his understanding about how to affect our emotions works on human beings of any era, regardless of changing stylistic tropes or cultural references. His themes, fear, love, grief, sex, are universal. And each new generation of artists finds their own reference points, their own forms of expression and impression in the timeless universality of those lessons of his about art and artists. But it's also important to keep in mind that for all of Poe's innovative imagination, and it was amazing, he was also himself as much an influencee as an influencer, if that's a word. He took as much from popular culture as he contributed to it. So his mystery stories, which created the genre of the modern detective story, which was a real innovation, but the plots for those stories were taken out of the headlines of the day. He didn't invent those plots. Likewise, his poems are often reworkings of classical poems or myths. And his horror stories, though they were almost always set in some indistinct, far-off place and time, those stories resonated with readers because they tapped into very real fears and anxieties that the urban audiences of his day were experiencing. And those things still hold true. The story of a quirky neighbor who turns out to be a murderer. I mean, those things come up in our newspapers all the time. And his other stories and themes about unruly mobs and underlying madness in people we think we know. And then, of course, nothing could be more timely for right now than his story, The Mask of the Red Death. So even though those themes are universal and some of the plots are even repeated time and again in various forms and ways, each new generation finds new ways to interpret and present Poe. And thank goodness for that. And so tonight, as we celebrate these wonderful new works of art that interpret Poe and are inspired by Poe, I would venture to say that they are successful because, in part and somehow, they incorporate Poe's advice about what the artist should do and what art should be. And so I think it's really important to remember that Poe's guiding principles about how to create art make it possible for Poe and the artists that he influences, generation after generation, to touch audiences. And that will go on for decades, and I would bet even centuries to come. So congratulations to all the nominees tonight, and congratulations on being able to do this unusual version of the Saturday Visitor Awards.
That a maiden there lived whom you may know by the name of Annabelle. And this maiden she lived with no other thought than to love.
From childhood's hour I have not been as others were. I have not seen as others saw. I could not bring my passions from a common spring, from the same source. I have not taken.
How am I to answer you about my impending departure? Have I not been honest with you? But I have heard the more than melody of your voice, and my heart ceased to throb beneath the magic of your smile. Have I not held your hand in mine and looked steadily into your soul through the crystal heaven of your eyes? I have done all these things. Or am I mad? Or was it just a dream? To my dearest Lenore, as I boarded the ship for America, a profound sympathy took immediate possession of my soul. From the moment I met you, I loved you. I cannot better explain to you what I felt than by saying that your unknown heart seemed to pass into my bosom, there to dwell forever, while mine, I thought, was translated into your own. As to the raven, let me tell you what I shall say about it. There is a fantasticalness about it which is ludicrous, and there is a certain insanity that arises from an author that is singularly sensitive to outside influences. Poe, I'm afraid, is wholly lacking in that element of manhood which, for want of a better name, we call character.
So many tongues that sweep at air like witchless brooms. Speak no words, tell no tales, amid the 10th moon's dirt-felled graveyard pale. Stone bone lay down to rest over black-petaled roses, perfumed with dust to smell no more. Groom with bride where once, forever and ever, flowered, weeded over words, boxed hands grasp no more, join no more.
All right, we are back. All right, well, this has been a very strange year for all of us, and I'm sure for all of you. But one thing that we've tried to stress all day today is that we are united in the strangeness. We are united in our love of Poe and literature and beauty, and together in this experience of loss and longing and pain. And if Edgar Allan Poe's legacy should continue in any way, it means that his legacy lives in us in love beyond death, and unity even in our isolation. So I wish to congratulate all of the nominees for the 2020 Saturday Visitor Awards, and it is my honor to welcome and congratulate our 2020 winners for this year. So I'm going to communicate with our tech behind the curtain here. Are we ready to go with our graphics as we announce our winners? All right. Well, in the adaptation category, Edgar Allan Poe, adaptations of Edgar Allan Poe's life and works, I'm very pleased and so very proud to announce our winners. Cheryl Fair and Dream Child for adaptation. Cheryl, Frank Garacci and Cheryl Warner with Dream Child. Thank you so much. Congratulations. David Halgren with Annabelle Lee, and Teresa Ballas. Congratulations in the adaptation category. We're so very proud of you. And I'll bring a couple of these folks on really quickly to give them their moment. Thank you so very much. David Halgren is not with us. He's in Australia, but congratulations to you guys. In a better year, and hopefully in the future, we will be able to invite you up on stage to give you your medals. Now, Mark, I hope you have this graphic. The winners of the Saturday Visitor Awards win a prize medal, a certificate, and a historical award of $50 because that is the award that Poe won for a manuscript found in a bottle. So we're not adjusting for present day funds, but if you want to say a few words, congratulations. If you'd like to say a few words, Teresa, if you'd like to go first.
Well, thank you very much. I'm very excited. I was, of course, hoping to be there in person, but I had an awesome time making my portrait out of little teeny tiny glass beads. There are over 214,000 of them. So it was a long but fun journey making Poe's brains exposed and Berenice's teeth chomping at his brains. So thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Cheryl and Dream Child, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Such an honor. Thrilled.
If you'd like to say a few words, please do. Thank you so much for being here tonight.
We had a great time making this because I'm in Baltimore and Dream Child is in Boston, and they came here and I went there, and it was an extravaganza.
It really was. Yeah, it was a two-party
time.
And, you know, Poe means so much to all of us, and it's just a real thrill to have our work chosen for this. And I have to mention our wonderful Mr. Poe in our mini film, Rob Villella. We lured him down to Baltimore, and Cheryl filmed him as well. And it really added to it, having Mr. Poe walk through along with us through the graveyard. So.
Well, it's wonderful. Congratulations, everyone. All right, well, we will announce the original works category, and I am very pleased once again to welcome, I'm going to prime the stage here. Thank you so very much, and congratulations again. All right, in our original works category, the winners are June Ponte for Alone, Mario Moreno for Insomnia, and William Doyle for Extraordinary Tales in Music. Congratulations, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
So pleased to have you. And again, the Saturday Visitor Awards winners get a prize medal, a certificate, which you will be receiving in the mail soon, as well as your historic prize of $50 in honor of Poe's prize from the Saturday Visitor. We are a nonprofit organization. We try to be. But thank you so much. If William, this incredible year, June, incredible year for both of you, nominated in both categories, and then winning in this one. William, if you'd like to say a few words, please do.
Yeah, actually, it's strange that this piece kind of goes back to my childhood when I actually was reading this book, Classics Illustrated. And I remember reading the cask of Amontillado, and it scared the pants off of me. It still does. And so many years later, working with 3 incredibly talented singers, working with Anthony Moreno, who embodied Poe himself, and Eileen Sue, who played the Lenore character, and Justin, who was walled up in the cask of Amontillado. It was such a thrill for all of us, including the lighting, my wife, who did the art design, John Brennick and Nate, who did video, Bill Georges, who did the art direction. It was such an incredible experience. I'm so glad that you people got to enjoy it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. June, if you'd like to say a few words.
Sure. The piece that got nominated and won is one of my favorites, and it's called Alone. And I was thinking about Poe when he lived in the Bronx, and when Virginia was ill, and he used to take these long walks. So in my mind and in my painting, he's taking one of those long walks, the way the Bronx used to look. It certainly doesn't look anymore. So that's what the painting is about. And I'm really honored, and thank you.
All right, congratulations. Thank you so much. I'm so glad you could be here. And Mario, oh, so wonderful to have you, Mario. Congratulations. Would you like to say a few words?
Yes, well, I'm very happy, and I would like to dedicate this piece to the young people of my country and of Chile, who today do not see the future in cultural activity because the system does not allow them. I invite them to believe the story, to see beyond. In me, you will find a friend willing to help you in your cultural endeavors, especially to neighborhood of La Florida and Ponte Alto, my commune. That said, I'm very happy. The emotion is a lot. I want to dedicate this to especially to my father for introducing me to the literature and the wonderful work of Edgar Allan Poe.
Thank you. Oh, wonderful. Congratulations. Thank you so much. Well, everyone, we are nearing the very, very end of our program. And again, I want to thank everyone for being part of this program, contributing to this program. We have wonderful sponsors. A good part of our program this year was, in fact, donated from our wonderful sponsors in recognition of this year of COVID. And we're so very grateful for allowing us and giving us the opportunity to bring the awards. I'm going to invite Vince back up onto the stage with me, and we're going to do our toast to Poe.
Thank you, Rika, for having me back.
It's quite a night, quite a night. We have such wonderful nominees and wonderful judges, I should say, with incredible taste. Yes?
Oh, wow. Thank you. I feel I'm gonna have a drink later on after that one.
Well, let's have a drink right now. It's time to, it is time for our graveside toast to Edgar Allan Poe. So everyone in the stream, raise a glass.
I have a mug.
We have a mug.
Yes.
Libation of choice. Thank you all. Thank you all. Continuing with this theme, again, we have had to be apart, but we are together in our isolation, comforted together, and again, love beyond death and unity. Even when we are alone, together in love, together in literature, together in poetry, and as we honor the 171st anniversary of Edgar Allan Poe's mysterious death in Baltimore, we celebrate his legacy and we celebrate one another and our common cause. So, cheers, everyone.
Cheers.
To Edgar Allan Poe.
To Edgar Allan Poe.